Good evening. Today I would like to talk to you about the Dogman. On my 10 types of Bigfoot video, I included the Dogman and it was somewhat controversial. Now I understand, as far as we know, he is not a type of Bigfoot, but some kind of an upright canine, some kind of an upright large wolf. I realize this, but a lot of people are seeing them with Bigfoot and in the same areas, and there's lots of stories of interactions with Bigfoots. And if anything scares you, if a Gugwe doesn't scare you and a Wendigo doesn't scare you, a Dogman scares me. It should scare you too, especially when they run in packs. Now, the primary difference you will see between a Dogman and a Bigfoot-like creature is the way their legs are proportioned. The Bigfoot-like creature has a somewhat human-like leg with a normal knee and a somewhat normal foot. Yes, their foot is built differently and they're proportioned a little bit differently, but generally human. The Dogman appears to leave giant dog tracks. Now, what you're seeing there is an over 7-inch dog track. I don't know what type of dog or large wolf would leave something quite that big, but that is a very large track, and these are reported to leave dog-like footprints, not human-like footprints, and I think that's the big difference between them and like a Gugwe. Now you can see from the picture in the background purported Dogman footprints are incredibly large. That looks like a 12-gauge shotgun shell, so that places that to be 7 or 8, 9 inches large. So you can imagine that that's got to be a 7, 8, 10-foot tall Dogman. Now one of the identifying creatures is always the German Shepherd-like appearance and snout and ears on these things. Now, generally, you get reports of these things kind of all over the United States, but they seem to be more of a southern problem going on up into the northeast, like the Michigan Dogman and the Rougarou down in the south. West Texas has them. The border is supposedly filled with them with Mexico. There's lots of reports down there going all the way up to Sacramento in California. You don't hear too much about them in Canada up in the north. Perhaps the mountain giants take care of them up there. Now, they've been known to run in packs all through history. If you look at Anubis and the European versions of werewolves, especially in Eastern Europe, there's reports of these things in South America, everywhere, of an upright canine walking being. Now, if you ask me, these things are very evil in appearance. There's precedents for an upright ape. Human beings are one of them. There's precedents for a meat-eating ape because we eat meat, we're omnivores, and the Wendigo or possibly a Gugwe. And they have analogs with the mandrills and the baboons, and the other types have with chimpanzees and gorillas. What the analog is for the wild for an upright walking dog, I have no idea. Quite frankly, it really scares me. This is a reported picture here in the background. You can see the giant head, the massive underbite on that thing, the huge arms and shoulders. These things are reported to be even more V-like than a lot of Bigfoots. Very big shouldered, very broad-armed. The identifying features are pointy ears. Typically, when they're seen in packs, they are identified as being very wolf-like. With an alpha, you'll see one giant, large, black or gray one in association with some other small ones around him, like an alpha. So I assume they mate. There's reports these creatures eat, they go to the bathroom, they drink, they howl at the moon, and they're supposedly very real, but there's something, if Bigfoot's got one toe in the supernatural, these things are sticking both legs in. These things are something on the other side. If Bigfoot has something to do with some natural creature, with some, who knows, tampering in it, and if you want to get off into the real theories, these things are straight up engineered to be evil killers. There's nothing good to say about them. None of the natives have anything good to say about them. When you bring up the subject of Bigfoot, a lot of the natives, some of them say Bigfoots are bad. Some of them say Bigfoots are indifferent. Some of them say they're good. They're our friends in the woods, although that's pretty rare. No tribe I've ever heard of says anything good about the Dogman. Now, especially in the border with Mexico and in the south, if you look up Dark Waters, go find his stuff. He's got a lot of great stuff on his channels. He's got a lot of Dogman things. I think he kind of fell into his niche doing Dogman stories. Also, Vic Cundiff does a Dogman podcast. I guess they refer to them. I guess there's a bunch of different types of Dogman, even some to just be like an overgrown wolf, some that are more human-like, but on all fours, and the real, moderate-sized ones that stand up to full-blown werewolf-like monsters. I don't know. I haven't looked into the subject to know to identify different types, but it's definitely a scary prospect, and people are seeing these things. What fascinates me about these encounters is there's people that have been actively stalked and almost eaten by these things. People who have had pets and relatives missing and had deer heads severed off and thrown through their houses, and horrible, nasty, terrible things. And then there are other people that describe them as, oh yeah, they're in my yard. They come through every winter as a pack. Sometimes they look out the window, they look at me, we kind of just look away, and then they don't bother me, we don't bother them. So it's very odd. I doubt that these are a natural creature. There's just something about them. I think that's kind of the big draw to a Dogman, is they're so scary. There is nothing we can compare it to. Even wolves in the wild are natural animals. They breed, they hunt, they raise their pups, but they're just basically like a wild dog species. They're good, they're bad. They're actually very shy away from human. Wolves very rarely attack humans unless they're really desperate or you're way out there where you shouldn't be. And wolves have gotten a bad rap. So I don't even think we can compare that to them, more or less. I think you got to think of these as something on another level. I've heard reports of things being really out there with these things and gunshots not doing anything to them. And I've also heard of gunshots killing them and hurting them. I've heard reports of a 100-pound pit bull taking 40 caliber shots to the head from police officers and living through it. Dogs are surprisingly tough, or at least they can be. So I'd imagine if you made one 8 foot tall and grew it up, it would be pretty tough. Now, there are reports through the years of especially from the Choctaw tribes and all over the place, that the Sasquatch and the Dogman have battled each other classically. I would imagine a 8-9 foot tall Wendigo and the biggest Dogman you've ever seen to be one hell of a fight. Now, this was a funny little clip I found here. Bigfoot, black, brown, knocks on trees, throws stones, mostly shy. Dogman, pretty much an a-hole. I would agree with that. I'll probably do another video on this, looking at some of the more different names and different variants, like the Rougarou and the Michigan Dogman and some of like the Bearman reports. But thank you very much. I'm not sure what Dogman is. He sure seems evil to me. I'm more on the side of demon. For a long time, I kind of classified him as an animal, but I'm really not sure. Thank you very much. Please like, subscribe, and share this video. Thanks.